And so for this next little bit, what I'm going to show you is how to take a Keynote and move that into Explain Everything, and then use some of the pointing and drawing tools to make that more of an interactive piece, and to also include a video yourself so that when you send this to students, they can see a picture of you while you're talking through that Keynote or PowerPoint and while you're marking it up and writing on it. So I'm going to start by going to Keynote. And so I happen to have a Keynote open here. And so this is our Keynote directions on how to update your computer here for the fall. And so I can see here, I just have my Keynote, everything is in there. And to get this into Explain Everything, the easiest way that I found is to tap the three dots on the right-hand side. And then I'm going to hit Export. And then I'm going to choose PDF. And so on here, I get the options that I want. I'm going to choose the top left side where it's just the slide. I'll tap on Export. And then it's going to pop up with options for where do you want to share that to. And so I'm just going to scroll over until I see Explain Everything. And if you don't see it, if I hit More, this gives me the option to come down and select it. And so there I can see it says Copy to Explain EDU. I'm going to tap on that, and it's going to bring up Explain Everything, and it will load up that slideshow. So sometimes it takes a second here to load up. Sometimes it doesn't, and that's okay. So I'll come back here. We'll try it again. So I'll come here, Copy to Explain EDU. Okay, so technical difficulties, that's all right. Let's try this a different way. So I'm going to go ahead and just save it to files. I think maybe I chose a big one because it's going slow here. We'll try that again. We'll go export, we'll go PDF, export, and we'll just save that to files there. There we go. And so I'll choose on my iPad, and then I'll hit save. There we go. So now I can come into Explain Everything. I'm going to do a new project. And I can come here, and then now notice one of the options that I skipped over earlier was File. So I'm going to hit File and select Files. And then I'm going to come here. We did on my iPad, and there's the PDF that we exported. So just like on a Mac, sometimes you export a file or save it and you save it to your desktop. This is like that, but just on the iPad, where we've saved it to a folder on our iPad. And so then I can tap on it. And so what Explain Everything has done here is it's read that file and it says, oh, this is a PDF and there's lots of different pages. And it wants us to say, okay, there's 9 pages in this document. Do you want me to put them in one big grid on one virtual whiteboard page where you can use your fingers to zoom around? Do you want me to stack them all up like a set of index cards that you can, swipe away and move? Or do you want to put these on separate slides? I found it's best to do the separate slides one, because that way it'll take each one of those Keynote slides and make it its own page and Explain Everything so that we can go in and draw on, write on, and talk about. So I'm going to pick separate slides. And then the bottom piece, it says lock pages. What that is asking us is, do we want to make it so that it's really easy to have that slide fly around the screen? Or do you want to have it where the view is kind of locked on just that slide? I'm going to select where it says lock pages and leave it so that it's kind of stuck on the slide, because I want this to look like a presentation that I'm giving to somebody, just with a few added features. And I want it to take up the full screen. So I'm going to do insert. And of course it does that, doesn't it? We'll try that again. That's all right. we go. All right, so now you'll see that on the bottom here, I have an arrow and I can tap through, and this is going to give me one slide for each page of my Keynote. And I can tap here to quickly between the different slides. Now, since it's an Explain Everything, we get the full power of all of the tools. So I can select my pencil tool here and choose a color. And now I have the ability to draw right on the PowerPoint slide, or I can select my highlighter and I can highlight items on there. I can even go here, and if I wanted to add shapes, I can do that. So if I wanted to do a star and then have that on there, I can add a star and say, okay, this is the key point right here. And you can add a star to it. Or you can add additional text. And the last little bit is down here. These are your pointers. And so these are visual pointers that don't actually mark up the slide, but they let you highlight things on them. So the simplest is the laser pointer. So if I'm talking through something, I can use a laser pointer to call out different areas. You can use the hand, so it looks like a mouse cursor. So if you're walking them through a screenshot, you can use that. You can use pointer tools, arrows, or of course, I kind of previewed it in the beginning, but they have the laser swords that for each time you touch the screen, you get a laser sword. So if you actually go ahead and touch a couple of times, you can sometimes get multiple laser pointers showing up there, laser swords for you. And so you can pretend to, cut through stuff. I'm boring and simple, so I like to use just the laser pointer itself. The other piece that is nice with this is a lot of times when you're giving a presentation, students like to see your face. It just personalizes it more and allows that connection to happen. And to do that, if I hit the plus button up here and I go video, I can go and I can insert a video feed of myself right on the Explain Everything document. Now, if I were doing this, I could record the video by just hitting the record button there, but that's only going to record the video that is in that box. For this kind of task, I want it to record everything that's on the screen so that I can use the laser pointer to highlight things and to use the drawing tool to underline and bring emphasis to different points. So to do that, I leave the video going, but I'm going to hit the red button at the bottom of the screen. Hi everybody, welcome to my quick video update on how to update your laptop for the summer of 2020. And so then I'll stop that. I'm going to go to the next slide, do the same thing. I'm going to insert that video bit, and I can just use my fingers to make it smaller. I'm going to put it right there for this time. All right, step one that I'd like everybody to walk through is on your computer, I want you to hit over here where it says Applications, and then find where it says Install macOS Catalina. Now, once you do that, you'll see here there's an icon that says Install macOS Catalina. Go ahead and double click that and let it run. And so then you can do that. So let's see what that actually looked like. I'm going to hit play. And so you can see a preview of that going through. And everything that I do, including my video and the sound, is saved right in that document. If I made a mistake, I can do editing, like, oh, let's say I don't want that to go there. I can tap on that once, and then I can hit the trash button, and we can delete that part from it. And I can always undo that. So you do have some basic video editing capabilities there. And I can come to this screen and we can do something similar where I'm going to insert my video. So this is a really important step. You need 12 gigabytes of free space in order to do it. So let's walk through what that actually means. Go here, check there, then click here, And then let's look at this part. And so we can kind of build this tutorial as we're going. So let's say you've done all of that and you've walked through your PowerPoint, you've done that for each of the steps. You can check which slides you've done. Red dots, and if it's a red dot, that means that there is a video recording on it, and then the time next to it is how long that video recording is. And so let's say you've done an entire lecture, you've recorded it, you're getting ready, and you want to send this out to students. One of the easiest ways for you to send any type of video recordings out, whether it's a keynote like this that we've added our pictures to and we've done the recordings with, or whether it's something like that original project that I did where we went and we drew and we practiced math problems. The easiest way to share that is to actually send it to YouTube and post it to YouTube and then share that YouTube link in Google Classroom or in Seesaw. And so fortunately, Explain Everything makes it pretty straightforward to do that. So up on the top right, I'm going to go ahead and go back to my first slide. Up on the top right, there's a big purple arrow or a box with an arrow coming out of it. When I tap on that, it gives me the option of exporting this project. And so since we have both audio and video and animations and drawings, we want to export it as a video. And when I do that, this is the only tricky piece. You can see there that there's a link to share this on YouTube. However, we found that there's been a few issues when people try to go directly from YouTube from Explain Everything. And so I found it's easier if I just come down here and do save video. That will save it right to my camera roll. So I'm going to tap save video. And depending on how long your video is or how much stuff you have on your iPad, sometimes it may take longer than others to export. So you can see here it's going through, and I had about 3 slides with video on it. And so it's processing and saving that out to my camera roll. So we'll give that just a second here. Let me check the chat. All right, so it looks like one of the questions was, can we only add Keynote and PowerPoints or slides an option? Explain Everything will take in those document types of the PDF is the easiest way to put that in there. I'll pull up the different document types it takes, but if you can convert it to a PDF, you can put it into Explain Everything. And so on Google Slides, you can save the Google Slides if you go to export and save that as a PDF, then you can bring those into Explain Everything. And so, all right, the other options, the other file types that it'll take, let's see, it'll do the photos, it'll do, for Google, you will need to download it because it doesn't know what a web link is with it. But yeah, if you download it as a PDF, you'll be able to do it. Okay, so I have saved this, and if I go to photos, I can see here's my video here that I've exported. So to get this to YouTube, what we want to do is we're going to log on to YouTube. I'm going to go to youtube.com. And your Westside email address automatically lets you have your YouTube channel that you can upload videos to. And so to get there, if you hit the button on the top right, first off, if you need to log in, you can log in. If you hit the button there and you can go to upload video and select it. Now this is where we can upload that video. And so notice that I'm in Safari on my iPad, and I went to youtube.com and then I clicked the upload button. I can select the files and choose photo library. If I tap on videos, I can select that video to upload. And so depending on the size of the video and the speed of your internet connection, it may take a little bit to upload that video. However, while it's uploading, we can start to do some configuration to it. So we could say this would be how to update your computer. This video update. Then I can hit next. It's going to ask you if this video is a new thing that Google has added in. Google is YouTube. And what it does is if you select yes, it's made for kids, that's going to turn off comments. It's going to turn off a lot of things and make it so that no ads show up in your video. So generally, if you're doing lessons or anything that you're trying to share out for students, it's best to pick yes, it's made for kids. So I'm going to hit next. Video elements, we can kind of skip over. When we go to visibility, this is where we want to choose who can see our video. So by default here, if we pick private, that means only people you select can watch it. We probably don't want to do that because that's going to be harder to share. However, if we do unlisted, that means they have to have that specific link in order to find your video. Public means that it's posted to your channel. Anybody that subscribes or is looking at it can see it, which is fine. You can do that. Most of the time, though, I'll do unlisted. That gives me just a little bit more control. And I can go ahead and I can copy that link right there to post into my Google Classroom or to my Seesaw. So I'm going to hit unlisted. I'm going to hit save. And now it's published. It's ready to go. I can copy this link. I can go here and go to Google Classroom here. I can select a class. And then if I go to share something, I can even go here and I can paste it right in there, or I can add a link and we'll paste that right there and say, please watch tutorial and do it. And so there we go. And then I can hit post, and now that's shared to my class. Oh, sorry, wrong one. And shared to my class there. Stream was updated. There we go. And when I hit that, that's going to go and share that YouTube video right from it. So that's a quick way if you're looking for ways to create content and share it with students. Explain Everything is a really, really good option. And I know we've had a lot of people kind of explore it for the first time. I know especially presenting slideshows like this, or just opening up and starting with a new project and just using it as a way to talk. I can hit record on here. And as we're talking and say we're going through a math problem, we can work through math problems together. We can do things like, anytime I'm illustrating a point, talking about it, drawing, sketchnoting, it just captures everything that you do. And then you can use that process to save that out to YouTube in order to share it with Classroom and Seesaw. So I know that was a quick run through it, but my goal was to let you see mainly how you can use it just as a whiteboard, but also how you can import those PDF documents into it and to be able to add videos and record it and then share that out to YouTube in order to get that sent to students. So that was about a half hour there. What questions do you have, or what other comments or things you'd like clarify in regarding to importing a file into Explain Everything and then going ahead and saving that out as a video file? And again, we'll have the recording of this made available for you so you can go back and watch it. And I know the saving to YouTube can be kind of confusing through it. And so on the agenda that I sent out earlier in the chat, and I'll send out again here at the end, I do have a link to a YouTube video that I did that records this whole process and will walk you through how to do that specific piece of sending a video up to YouTube. So you can always go back and reference that as well.